Cinda, I wanted to put this in voice because writing it out seemed a little convoluted. So I'm going to talk about this. Okay, I told you I shared with you I set up the sample patient, and I've done I've done the initial treatment plan, because the initial treatment plan is where the diagnosis is going to be taken from. So I put a diagnosis here, and so that's what's going to be drawn for the billing. Okay, and now I went in and I also created the okay, I said that already, the intake. Now what I'm assuming when I created this, or when in developing this, or putting together the backdrop, okay, the logic, there we go, that's the word I was looking for, putting together the logic, I'm assuming that these dates, like initial date 1, is not the same day, because as you see here, I put 8/16 as the initial date, but the encounter is 8/15. So my assumption is that this data here is not reflective of the date in which this form is sitting, because literally this form does not have to be initiated on the initial date. The initial date is some date they could have wrote down in a notebook on a yellow sticky and then come in and enter it in. So again, I'm not assuming that the date that the encounter is set up, okay, and this form is set in place, in motion. I know I have it all filled out here, but what I'm saying is that they can open this up and start it, okay, in an encounter. And then this date here does not have to match the date of the encounter. And honestly, the way I have it programmed should not match the date of the encounter in which the form itself is residing. Okay, so make it for any date after the date in which the encounter where this form is sitting resides. That way I can make 4 encounters, because it's hard to populate an already existing encounter. That's why I'm making it, or asking you to make sure that this date here is not the same date as the encounter itself. Okay, and then when it goes to populate or create the encounters and populate all the information that's needed for the claim, then these will be done correctly. All right, so just one more time, do not make this initial date the same date as the encounter, okay, that's this form is sitting, because again, this form can be sitting anywhere at any date, anytime. But here is where you're going to reflect the actual dates and time that the patient was seeing. Okay, I just want to make sure I get that across clearly before moving on with this. And then, but again, I also want you to validate that I think this is okay for the time being, because once we check the box down here, and I'm not asking you to do that, I just want you to go over and let me know that you understand what I'm sharing with you. And then once you do that, then I'm going to go ahead and click the ready to bill, and then I'm going to save it. And then I'll check the billing and make sure, and come back with another video as that it was properly saved or not, and then let you know. Well, okay, I'll let you know that either it worked or it didn't, or I've done some adjustments to the code to make sure that, or at least try to implement what you're asking it to do. All right, thanks for watching, and get back with me when you can. Thank you.